Hello and welcome. I am in the seat of interviewing my husband this week. It's all about content. It's all about what we can do as business owners to advertise our business and also who you are behind the brand. So stay tuned this week. But today, it's all about content.
It is, yeah.
So it's about adding content, not just to the See No Bounds platform, but we are going to talk a lot about that, but also content in general. Now, the social media space is massive and it's free advertising, so use it. Don't lose it.
It's getting bigger. With threads just being launched, it's definitely getting bigger.
Yeah, I want to hear about, we talk about threads, put your comments down if you want to talk about what that means to you. But today we're going to talk a lot about socials on See No Bounds.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that you can do and take advantage of. So we've added a new feature recently, which is all about books.
Yeah.
So we're going to touch on books, blogs, vlogs, and podcasts, and also the events board. So first of all, I want to start with the events board because regardless of what membership you have, you can utilize the events board for
I think,
membership.
to be honest with you, I think the events board is a show on its own.
Yeah.
It really is. But there's massive benefits to adding events onto the See No Bounds platform anyway.
Yeah.
There's a financial benefit because it's cheaper than any of our competitors. But also those events then get added into when people search for you. So when they come on to the platform, it's just about credibility. That's all it is. So the events is really designed to help our clients put what they're doing out there into a bigger audience.
Yeah, and I think if you're running an event, everybody knows that it's a big space.
It is,
like the platforms are out there, there's loads of them. But I think if you're running an event, do put it on more than one platform because you obviously get a bigger audience. So utilize that as a member of any of the memberships. You can utilize that with the free or the paid membership. So coming on to other features that you can do on See No Bounds if you are a paid member and want to advertise your stuff.
Let's talk about the interesting stuff, okay? Because there's a lot of SEO implications here, which is why I want to talk about it. So SEO is a kind of this buzzword. It's kind of put out there all the time. You've got to get your SEO. You've got to get your SEO. You've got to get your SEO. And people think so much about SEO being on their website, and it is, but it's also created. The credibility when it comes onto Google is created by content sometimes on other websites, tying back to what you're doing.
So this is what people that don't really understand a lot about this, so I'm going to kind of be devil's advocate. So it's backlinks we're talking about.
Backlinks, reverse content. That's how I call it, reverse content. So it's about putting something out there that actually has a value. So, for example, articles on LinkedIn, which is it's an incredible way to create content on LinkedIn. However, it isn't actually SEO'd, that content, because it goes into the ethos of LinkedIn, and there's a lot more competition out there, right? But if you put something, a blog or a vlog, if you've done a recent interview or a recent video and it's got good content on it, create a little bit of text and then upload it into See No Bounds, and you get it to a wide audience. That wide audience then, because it's been mentioned, when people are searching certain subjects in Google or whatever else, it will naturally come up because it's new and it's fresh. And that content can then be refreshed, re-triggered back to, linked back to on other content on the page, which is something that you can't do necessarily on some of the other platforms. So you can backlink along the page as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a really good point. One of the things with blogs, and for those of you that know a little bit about that sort of thing, blogs you can share as much as you possibly want.
Yeah.
Now with blogs, it isn't liking the fact that you copy and paste completely over. So if you've done a blog for your website, don't just copy and paste it onto See No Bounds. Just change it a little bit, and that will be new content.
Just retweak it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm going to delve into ChatGPT here just for a second, because you can put a blog into ChatGPT and you can ask it to just reword it, and it will write the same blog, but it will be slightly tweaked, and that will be enough to be able to then upload that onto other platforms. So you've already done the content, utilize the technology that's out there to do that. And that goes into the same thing with blogs, book descriptions. So add your books into See No Bounds. It's not, we haven't got a massive book audience currently, but it's going to push your book up. And you can just click a button so that they're still buying through Amazon, or your preferred retailer, whether it be your website or whatever else, there's a link, just put the link in, and then that creates a button that then sends those persons. It's all about sending people to where you want to be.
Yeah.
All the other platforms out there, like LinkedIn, are forcing you to stay on their platform. We are trying to force the users to your platform.
Yeah.
We're the complete opposite. Utilize that.
Well, the whole point of See No Bounds is to showcase the members and creating that advertising space in a safe environment where people know that they've been recommended. So everybody who's on See No Bounds know that they've either been recommended by myself or you, or by our network leaders and event coordinators. And the whole point of it is the community behind it.
Absolutely, and that's where I was going to go with the next one, right? Because it's not, and one of the things that we're very keen on, I'm going to mainly go now what books, blogs, and podcasts on this. So you might have seen a video on YouTube that you find really useful. So, for example, it could be an interview recently with Stephen Bartlett, and you go, actually, I think the rest of the community needs to watch this. Add it. You're not going to get into trouble. So all you then do is you write a description to say why people should look at that video or watch that blog, and then put it out there to the ethos, and that's perfectly acceptable. You could read a book that you really like, and you could go, actually, this book needs to be read by more people. So, for example, you read Sarah Davis recently. You might go, actually, everybody needs to read this book. Add it into the book section, put it out to the ethos, so that it's a way of you telling everybody else about what you're doing as well. You get the credibility because it's your name on the blog. Yeah, and you do it. I mean, this is the best recommendation you can do. And then and it's exactly the same with podcasts. Like, I actually listed Stephen Bartlett podcast into the platform because I genuinely think everybody should listen to Stephen Bartlett's podcast. The next one I'm going to add is No Such Thing as a Fish, because it's a brilliant podcast. It's funny, it's entertaining, but it's really interesting as well.
It's interesting subjects and what goes on in the media.
Exactly.
So, but I wanted to talk about the blog section, because I think a lot of people take so much time to create articles on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And they just, they eventually sit there for a little while, people comment, and it goes back up to number one. Then you might get another comment, but it doesn't push it out any more than that.
No.
So that article, instead of just losing it, just use that article.
Actually, I did a blog recently on our site, and I linked it back to a blog that was created by Lee Monroe. So I do that as well, right? So, which is something that the other platforms don't do. So if I'm putting content on, I will link that content back to content you've already written.
Yeah.
So I'm proactively looking for those people who have written something, and I go, oh, this is a really good connection to put those two across. So I'm creating the backlinks as well. So it's always helping, and it's bringing your content back up because it's making it fresh.
Yeah, and it's about keeping it fresh and reaching another audience. So the last thing I want to cover before we finish off the show is you can share it as well, straight from the platform. So I'm going to actually give a little shout out, because I shared recently something that I thought everybody needed to know, which was Danielle Holmes from Black Nova. She wrote a fantastic blog about web hosting. So I've given her 5 stars. So you can also do your credibility on See No Bounds, and then shared it out on every single platform, because it was something that I think not a lot of people know about. And I think as business owners, share that knowledge. It's what it's all about, isn't it, Jamie?
That's the other thing as well. Like, we don't have the smiley face and all that. Like, I get it all, and it's fine. But we actually, I don't think that. I think it's too easy to just flippantly push a like button or a smiley face button. So we actually have 5-star recommendation for those content. So someone can come on and they can actually review and comment on the content that you put on there. And what better than a 5-star review and a comment saying what you've got out of that.
And also then sharing it into the groups. So we've got 4 Facebook groups, and the LinkedIn group as well, Business Without Barriers.
It's really
and it's reutilizing the content that that somebody else can benefit of. Because I think it's all about little shares like that. Just makes the network really special, because you learn something new and you find out about something that you might not have known. So on that note, I think we're going to say thank you so much, Jamie, for being interviewed.
It's a
Really,
pleasure.
really enjoying this new sort of sections of things that goes on, and make use of it. We would love to see your comments down below, and we look forward to seeing you very soon again. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye now.